Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tea and Crystals podcast. I am T.
And I'm Kristal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are so happy to have you all back with us for another episode of this here podcast. I'm so excited to be with you all. How about you, Kristal?
I'm I'm very excited. I'm excited for some of the stories we're gonna tell. Lord, I
Mhm.
can't speak. I'm excited for some of the stories that we're gonna tell. We have some media, so a video to actually show that I found from TikTok. I'm excited to get to mess with that a little bit. In the pre-show meeting, Timmy and I were messing with some new stuff in terms of our social
Mhm.
media. So I'm really
That's
excited
right.
for everything that we're kind of coming together with.
And by the time this podcast airs, all of that stuff will have been on our social media. So y'all let us know if y'all liked it or not. If we try to get bigger and better with every week
Yes.
that goes by. So give us some feedback on that. Let us know if y'all like it. But
Yeah.
before we
Well,
get in, oh, go ahead, Crystal.
sorry. Well, I was just gonna say we accept both the praises and the criticism. My mom is not
Mm-hmm.
afraid of the criticism. We had a story last week that was very very long by itself, and in order to fit it into the time frame that we needed, because no offense, but a lot of y'all don't have a very long attention span. So, we gotta shorten it as much as possible to keep some of you guys engaged. And so I had sped up the video and I thought it sounded fine. Like someone even commented, I was like, damn, how do you people from the US even like how do you speak without breathing? Like, and I had to tell him, I was
I
like, sir,
did see somebody say that.
I said, sir, this isn't how I speak. Like it's sped up. Like I can't speak
Mm-hmm.
that fast in real life. And he was like, oh. But my mom said we sounded like chipmunks and she didn't like it. So stuff like that. Let us know. Like, did you mind that the
Yeah.
video was sped up a little bit? Did you care? Or do you prefer it not to be? But feedback. We like it. We love it.
Yeah, let us know. So before we get into all the fun and the debauchery of this episode, I do have a couple things that I want to bring up. I know by the time this episode drops that it'll be like a week or 2 weeks ago. Um, but I did want to mention the Grammys. I don't know if you got to see any of the Grammys, Crystal. I did not because when the Grammys are on, I am asleep. And there was nothing really for me to see performance wise this year. So I really didn't tune in too much other than the biggest stories, which on my timeline at least were Tracy Chapman and Miley Cyrus's performances. Those are the only two that I saw. Um, and I didn't even see the whole of those. And Fantasia, who did the tribute to Tina Turner. May she rest in peace, one of my favorite artists. But I just wanted to give a quick shout out here on the Teen Crystals podcast because this is my platform. This is our platform, okay? And I get to do what the hell I want on this show. Shout out number one. Firstly, I will say shout out to SZA. Um, I don't think I really digested her album. Um, SZA just is, the songs are good, but I just don't listen to her albums. But shout out to her for the Grammys that she scooped up. Shout out to Coco Jones. Coco Jones album. Oh my God. I know I have played at least 1,000 times. I keep that on repeat in this household. But the biggest shout out from me goes to Victoria Monet. She won 3 Grammys. I think she won Best R&B Album, Best Engineered Album, and I think Best New Artist. She won Best New Artist, which is to me the most difficult to ever win, other than Album of the Year, because you can only be nominated for it one time. So it's a feat for you to win that award and beat everybody out in that year. Especially, I think Victoria Monet is 35 or 36. So she's been in the music industry for a long time, trying to do her thing. And her Jaguar album that came out some years ago was amazing. And Jaguar 2 just she outdid herself with this album. Perfect from beginning to end. Less than a half an hour, I believe, total playtime. But it is about 25 minutes of pure musical masterpiece. So shout out to her. I am super duper ultra proud of her. I feel like she my cousin or something. Like I was so excited when I woke up and I saw the news. So excuse me. Shout out to her. Is there anything that you saw that piqued your interest?
Yeah, actually, so talking about Victoria Monet, I actually saw an article that she did on how she was talking about how, like, 6 months ago, she had tried to get a performance at, I want to say it was like the VMAs or something like that, and
Yeah, it
they
was.
told her that basically, like, girl, that's a little above your pay grade right now. Like, you're not there yet. Don't rush your career. You can't. And she was like, don't rush my career. Like, okay. And here she is just a few months later, and she's won 3 Grammys. So it was like, the way I read it was like a motivation for, don't let people hold you back. Like,
Yeah,
don't let them tell you that
yeah,
you can't get somewhere. Like, achievements are not linear. Some people are going to achieve things quicker and some people aren't. Like, there is no, you have to hit every single one of these points, and you have to do it in this time frame before you can be considered successful. It's going to come in waves, and sometimes it's going to hit you really quickly, and sometimes it's going to take forever. And for her, despite the fact that we're really just hearing about her now, this has been a long time coming for her. Like Timmy said, she's 36. She's been in the game, well over a decade now, fighting and trying so hard to get her name out there. She's had hits and misses here and there, and she's finally getting the chance to be recognized for her talents. So, shout out to
yeah.
her.
Shout out to her. I have been a fan of hers for many, 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 many years.
Mhm.
We're talking pre the first Jaguar album days. Like, she has always been. I actually, I think I heard of her because she was a friend of Ariana Grande. She's
Mhm.
written a lot of Ariana Grande's big
Yeah.
hits and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, so I found out about her through there and discovering her music and stuff. And I have just been a fan of hers since then. I'm talking 5, 6, 7 years. And just to see her elevation and how she's built, and like you mentioned, the whole MTV situation, by that time she really had I think I would call a cult following, where us fans were like super duper ultra mega like riding hard for her, buying everything she released, and just to see her get that slap in the face, especially at the point she was at then, because she had a hit song on her hands, with On My Mama. So just for that to happen was crazy. If I was her, they would have to it would have to be a pretty penny for me to perform on that show, because I don't know if my pride could take it to go back and give them that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then the only other thing, I like you, I saw the Miley Cyrus a little bit.
Hmm.
Kudos to her. Congratulations for finally getting a Grammy for her. And then the only thing I think was noteworthy was Jay-Z's speech at the end of the night.
And that's gonna wrap
Um,
up our segment of the Grammys.
I personally have not seen
Hmm.
the full speech. I've only
Hmm.
read snippets of it from like news articles and stuff like that. I will point out, I do like the fact that people are very quick to um they understand the message he was trying to say, and they don't disagree with the message that he was trying to say. I don't disagree with the message he was trying to say. Was it the right time and place? That's up to you to decide whether it's your opinion. Some people are like, yeah, for it. Like, he was there. He was invited to receive this award. So that was his time to be able to speak on whatever he felt, and he used that time to do that. Others felt like it wasn't the right time, right place. Considering his history with it, like me personally, I'm like, whatever. He spoke what he needed to speak at a point where a lot of people was listening, so his message really got across.
Yeah.
I hate the people who keep trying to equate it to him being the same as like Kanye when he interrupted Taylor Swift's.
Huh,
Like, that's
what?
two completely different scenarios. Two
I
completely
didn't
different
even hear
scenarios.
that. That is
Yeah, a
a
lot of people are like,
stretch.
they're trying. It was exactly, that's what I was saying. I was like, that's such a stretch. And then on top of it, a lot of people are thankful, or like, hey, even though he's saying these things, they're not necessarily about this person, especially when it comes to Taylor Swift, because they're like, Beyonce and Taylor Swift are friendly at the very least. They support each
Mhm.
other. They go to each other's concert. They go to each other's movies premieres, their movie concert premieres or whatever. They are uplifting of each other and very proud of each other. The unfairness towards Beyonce is not because of Taylor Swift, because at the end of the day, it could have been any white girl in that award show.
Yeah.
Um,
And we've seen
so
Beyonce lose to Beck, which, girl, come
right.
on.
And when I
Like,
think someone else actually pointed out, because a lot of people are trying, they have this idea that because Taylor Swift has won album of the year the last 4 years, that like it's been her and Beyonce neck and neck this whole time. When in reality,
mm.
I think only one of their albums overlapped in that category.
I was about to say, anytime that Beyonce has been up for Album of the Year and not gotten it, it hasn't been because of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I think it was only, yeah, that's what I was saying. I think, but for some reason, people keep trying to pit these two artists
Yeah.
against each other. When they announced their albums this past year, when they announced their tours, when they announced their movie stuff, like they
Mm.
keep trying, and I love the fact that they both keep showing up for each other.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I I think the only thing that I have to say as far as Jay-Z's speech goes and people's critique of him using the excuse of there's a certain segment of the American population where it's not the right time or the right
mhm.
place or the right venue to do something.
It's
There's only
never.
one segment of the population that gets that critique. I'm
Mhm,
not even gonna say who it is, but there's only one segment of the
mhm,
population that gets that because the it's in the context and the subtext of it is you should be happy to be here. You
yeah,
should be you should appreciate the fact that you even get this moment. And I
right,
think that speaks to the point that he was making
yeah,
because who else who else really is going to get the opportunity on the Grammy stage as someone who looks like Jay-Z to be able to speak truth to power, when there's a whole segment of the population that feels a certain way, but they don't have a way to voice it.
mhm,
And this is the person who has this moment in time who is speaking on behalf of a lot of people who have this feeling. And when people say that, like, oh, it's not the right place, right time, it just tells me that you don't ever want to hear it.
mhm,
You don't
yeah.
want to hear the complaints. You don't want to hear the bitching and the moaning because some people are like, look, you have one. You have one. It's right there. You can't say that you don't have the opportunity because there's the one.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
you should
I
be
agree with
grateful
you.
for the one.
Yeah.
When it's like, no, there are a bunch of artists out here who are just as good, if not better, than some of the artists that are in these categories. And the only difference is. So, anyway, moving on.
Moving on. But I'm with
Before we
you.
get. Oh, no, go ahead.
No, no, I was just saying I'm with you. I get you. I'm
Yeah,
with you
yeah.
on that. That's what
Yeah,
I was
I ain't trying to do too much. I ain't trying to
with you.
light you girls candle, but
I was with
man,
you.
if we gonna call a spade a spade. Um Before we move on, I wanted to give a huge super duper ultra mega shout out to my co-host who celebrated a birthday. It'll be a week and change when this episode comes
Mhm.
out. But that's okay. We're still in the month of February. We can still say everybody say happy birthday, Kristal. Yes, it was my co-host's birthday, but we're gonna
Yes.
celebrate it here today. Whatever day this drops, it's her birthday today again. Yay!
Yay!
Crystal, how was your birthday? What did you do to celebrate it? Did you enjoy your time? We were on a bit of a hiatus. Y'all
Mhm.
didn't even notice because we make sure that we get this podcast out to you on time. Okay, each and every week. But how was your hiatus for your birthday?
It was good. We actually, so my mom had a work thing up in DC. Every year her company does this like annual meeting type thing. So they get put up in a place in DC, a hotel, which was a really nice hotel. It was like right in the center of DC. We were close to everything. And so we went up the first night. Usually they do a cocktail, like happy hour type thing, but our cousin actually lives, her brother lives in that area, was like 10 minutes away. So we decided to meet up with them. So we went to her brother's house, met up with her and her brother, met him, had dinner, very low key, really nice. And then the next day, my mom worked pretty much all day. It's like an all day meeting where it's honestly, it reminded me a lot of, when we would go back to the tavern at the beginning of the year. We had to sit there and listen to like the rules
Bullshit.
again. And it was from like 9 to 5.
Yeah, girl.
That's essentially what it is. The only difference
Okay.
is they do like awards and stuff like that too. This year they had like a motivational speaker, which people seem to enjoy.
Mhm.
And while she was doing that, I met up with my cousin Lynn and we went exploring just a little bit. We went to Chinatown because it was right around the corner. We had some really good food. And then we went to the National Portraits Museum. So we got to see like the Obama's portraits, Michelle Obama's and Barack Obama's portraits that they got done. Really cool, really
Mhm.
cool. I really liked it,
Mhm.
as well as everything else that was in the museum. Um, and then that night they had a really fancy cocktail um, dinner at the National Building, which I think is an architecture type museum. And there was these huge structures. It was beautifully lit, really fancy dinner. All her coworkers were there. Got to meet them. We both dressed up. I did her makeup a little bit, her hair, which is a thing. If anyone knows my mom, she does not do makeup. She does not do hair. Like she is one. Thankfully, her hair is one of the kind of hair that she can take a shower and get out of the shower and not have to do anything other than brush it, and it looks really nice. She did not bless me with that hair, but thanks, mom. But
Mhm.
yeah, so we did that, and then we ended up staying an extra day. And so that day, me and my mom together, we went to the Natural History Museum, which is the museum that is in the Night of the Museum movies with Ben Stiller. That museum. So we went in there, and then we went to the zoo, which was actually super depressing. Um,
That zoo is sad.
it's you know what, it might be
I don't
zoo in
like that
generals
zoo.
now, but
No, it's something about that zoo. I've been to a lot of zoos. I love going to zoos, but it's
mhm.
something about that zoo that I don't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like
It's
it.
not.
It
It's not supposed to be there.
No. I felt like I was like, me and my mom both said it. We were like, we've been to zoos before and we've really enjoyed it in the past, but there was something about it's been a long time since we've been to a zoo. And there was something about it. I was just like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. So we left there and then we went and had a nice dinner at, I want to say it's called Lardant, and it's a Italian place. It was so amazing, so good. I definitely recommend it if you're in DC. And then we came back Sunday for my actual birthday, and that was just very low key. We went to a new Korean place. It's called Choice, I think, Korean food hall. I don't think it's actually a food hall, or it's not what I thought a food hall is, but it's a new Korean store or a new Korean restaurant. Really, really good. And we just stayed in on that night. We just hung out, rested, watched some TV. Yeah, it was very low key. And then Erin came, she made me a cake. So I don't know if you've seen these cakes recently,
Oh my god,
but
I'm so
there's
jealous.
this new trend where the cakes have this layer on top and you can light it on fire, and it she did that for it was her first
No,
one.
she didn't.
Yes.
Oh my
And
god,
we posted it on
jealous.
our Facebook, and it was so nice. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. It looks so good. So shout out to Designs by Erin,
Get that
Erinn,
big
because
shout
she
out.
did her thing and it was beautiful. And I love the cake. It tastes really good. So yeah, that's what we did.
Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Now,
Hmm.
what kind of cake did she make you?
She made me a lemon cake. I gave her so many
Oh,
options because she was
sorry.
like, "What's your favorite colors and what's your favorite flavor?" And I told her my favorite colors, and I was like, but I don't know about flavors. I was like, I mean, if you gave me an option, like I'm a chocolate girl at heart instead of vanilla, But I also like, coffee flavors. I like cinnamon flavors. I like lemon flavor. I like, like it's not really cake is a
Yeah.
cake to me. Like I'm not
Mm.
really gonna say no. Um, but yeah, and so she was like, I was gonna make you this because she makes her chocolate cake from like scratch. Like she's not one of those bakeries who goes and gets the box and then juices it up so it tastes better. Like she makes it's
Mm.
her own recipe that she makes, and she's like, and there's so much ingredients, and I was tired. I was like, it's fine. Like I didn't even know you were making this cake for me. Like we didn't order
Mm.
this or anything like that. So I'm like, it's fine. I love lemon. It goes.
Oh,
I'm perfectly happy with
man.
it. It was beautiful. So
I love a
yeah.
good lemon cake. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I'm so jealous. Next time I'm there. Next time I'm
I know. I've
there,
already told her your
I'm
carrot cake.
putting me an order in
Mm-hmm.
beforehand. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, girl, you ready to get into this thing?
Yes, I
Your mama finna
am.
be pissed. She finna we 20 minutes in. She is finna report our podcast. Like she finna get us shut down on all social media platforms. Like
She's probably like the last 4 or 5 episodes. This is how it's been. Like it's almost like you guys are doing it on purpose. Like she's gonna be in there just be like,
oh my
she's
god.
advocating really hard for us to do that time stamp thing on like our YouTube videos where you can just go straight. She's
Yeah.
advocating so hard
Yeah.
for. I'm like, no, Ma, you gotta listen to the whole thing.
The whole
The
thing.
whole thing.
Come on, y'all.
Listen to us.
Stay with us.
Come on.
Now, if shit get dire, then we might.
We might.
we might.
We might. We're
Okay, we
not
heard
saying
you.
we
We
not.
heard you. Okay.
We're not saying we
Look, all right.
won't.
If you bully us enough, okay, we got you. Stop.
Right.
So, Crystal, I think
Okay.
you are first up on the plate.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so 2 things first. The first one's a really quick one. You're not on TikTok, obviously, but
I
I
am
don't
not.
know if any of you guys have noticed, but there was a man recently on TikTok. He posted this video, and the title of the video says HOA said the neighbor does not have to pay for half the fence, so we aren't replacing theirs. And basically, I tried to upload this video so at least those who are watching could watch it, but it wasn't cooperating with me. But basically, what he's doing is they're sharing a fence at the moment because he's knocked down. I don't know. Or I guess they're sharing a fence. And so he asked, I guess it's falling apart, and he asked the neighbor to pitch in so that he would fix it, but to pitch in for supplies because they're sharing that fence. And they were like, nah, we're not doing that. So his solution was to build a fence, another wall right beside it. And he thinks so he said that title as in a I got you. But I don't think you do, sir. Like I don't think you realize that at this point when you're finished, all they have to do is knock down their side, and suddenly not only do they have a brand new fence that they did not pay for like they intended, but now they have a couple extra uh land that you've
Mm,
just given to them. I, I,
okay.
I don't think you did what you thought you were doing.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that because I was about to congratulate that man for a job well done. Not thinking about the fact that you still did it. Like you still share. I mean, he did leave. They're gonna have to clean up the fence that's
Right.
broken on the other side. So I
That's
guess
true.
that is their punishment because at the end of the day, he wanted the fence.
Right.
So it's like, all right, well then y'all deal with whatever's on that side. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, when that's done, they still get a free
Free fence.
new fence.
And they get some extra land because
And
you
they get a
had to.
little bit of extra land.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's probably not much.
Yeah, it's probably not much. Like he literally built it like right.
Couple
Literally,
inches.
yeah, just a couple inches, but
Yeah.
still, like I said, I don't think.
Yeah,
Now,
this
someone
this
did suggest they were like, you should have painted the other side of your fence some really obnoxious color or something, so that when they did knock down, that's what they had to see.
now that's how you get them.
I would have been with that. Then maybe I would have been like, okay, sir, yeah,
Yeah, you did that.
you did that, a couple extra inches, that's fine, you did that, but
Mhm.
you didn't do that.
That's correct. But if you left it to me, okay, because was the fence there when you moved into the house?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about
That's my
that.
question. Because
Yeah.
if y'all went in on it together in the first place, then that's when there would have been a problem. But if I
Right.
moved into this house and this fence was there, then I
Hmm.
can't be too mad because we didn't make
Right.
that agreement. You know what I'm saying? I
We
too
did.
would probably be like, I'm not paying for half this fence, new neighbor.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know you like that.
We did. We something similar happened to us. We used to have woods in the back of our yard, and the city came and they bought the land back there and they bulldozed all that whole forest area and they built a cul-de-sac behind us. Anyways, so they built a
Mm.
fence all the way around. Well, our fence was getting, I don't know, shoddy or something like that. So we knocked the back of our fence down and just connected it
Connect
with
shit.
the cities. The only problem with that though is that when that fence started to go, when it's getting like the city won't replace it. So we've
Mm.
had to make repairs to our little portion of it over the years because the city won't
Mm.
do anything with it. But yeah, so that
Ghetto.
was the first thing I wanted to go over. But this next one, okay, I don't even know this girl's name. I forgot to even look at it. It's probably on her TikTok. But there was a podcaster. I want to say last year's when she started to blow up. I know her first name is Bobbi. I don't know what her last name is, but
Oh, oh
she got really
no.
famous for having, I guess, like kind of strange interviews or whatever with celebrities. Like
Oh
she would be
girl.
like in the only thing I remember, because I've never seen one of her podcasts, but the only thing I ever saw were was like articles with pictures. So the only thing I remember is like her and Drake. And I want to say they were like sitting in her bed or something like that.
I have very, very strong opinions about this young lady
Hmm.
that I'm debating whether I'm going to share or not because well, we can talk about it after you share.
Yeah. So, granted, this isn't about her. I mean, this involves her, but it's not her that we're focusing on.
Yeah.
So she was interviewing this musician, and mind you, I
Suki
don't
with the good coochie, as she's
you
known in the streets.
yes.
Oh yes,
Did you see
ma'am.
this?
Oh yes, ma'am.
You saw this?
Oh
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
I'm
Yeah.
excited then
Mm-hmm.
because I was baffled because I'm like, this has to be a skit, right? Like this girl isn't for
Oh.
real. But I think she was serious. I think she really.
Because Suki is from back in the Vine days, so she has been on my radar for many many years, and she is a hoot and a holler. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to play this clip again based off of his. I don't know if this was real or not, if this was a skit. If it was a skit, very well done, but if not, okay. Yeah. I don't feel so bad about my pronunciation problems.
Girl,
So we're going to see if this
I think it's
plays.
100% real. 100%
What do
real.
you know?
That you're a musician. But that's why I'm interviewing you today, so I can get to know you.
So I'm a musician. What the fuck that mean? Make magic or something?
Girl.
What is musician?
I think you're confusing that.
Yeah, I'm not no musician.
I-
I make music. I make
I-
music. And that's not all I do. I make music, I act. I'm a TV star too, a young mogul.
Just really quick, I think you're confusing.
I'm not confusing nothing because you don't know.
Mogul.
You thought that all I was a magician or whatever the fuck you said.
See, that's what I think you think I said. I
No,
said musician,
think
not
what-
magician.
I don't think, baby.
But
I don't think. What is that? That's ghetto. I don't think.
I don't think.
I know.
So you
Think.
I didn't say magician, Suki. I said musician. And I think you are a musician.
No, baby. I do music.
So you just really quick for the record, could you say you don't think you're a musician?
I'm not none of that.
But then after that, you just said I do music.
Yeah, I do music.
So in other words,
Yeah.
you're a musician.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I love it. I love it. I'm here for it. Power to Suki with the good coochie. Um, she's not a musician nor a magician. She don't do none of that because she don't think. What's that? She don't think. She know. What? What? I don't. I'm not a musician. I do music. I do music. I'm not no magician or a musician. Whatever the fuck you say. Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Shout out to her. Shout out
Like
to
I
her.
said, I watched this and I'm like, is this a skit? Like, is this like one of those like funny ferns things? Like you really don't.
Oh no, ma'am.
But
No,
it's
ma'am.
funny to me that
It's
how
two
quick
monkeys. You remember in the cartoons back in the day where it used to be the monkeys that had the symbols, and that meant that you ain't had nothing going on upstairs. She got two monkeys with symbols in her head, just banging them
But
shits all day.
I do wonder if she went back later and watched the clip and was like,
She realized in that moment when she was going through that whole think, I don't think, she was trying to think of something to cover up the fact that she sounded dumb as hell. When that girl pointed that out to her, she realized immediately that she was dumb.
because for once Bobbi was like, I don't think. She's just like, no, you're not going to speak anymore. Like, you're not going to reaffirm this. Shh. Like, if she could have reached across and been like, shh, she would have.
Now, I don't have for me, I don't have no personal problem with the young lady Bobbi. I just do not like how when she came onto the scene last year and the way that she abruptly left the scene. And by the scene, I mean the black scene. She really rode in on the social media wave on the backs of black people, black artists, provocative people who move the needle of the culture, but don't get the same accolades that other people do.
Mm-hmm.
And then once she had an interview with Offset, and Offset kind of lit her ass up. Honestly, like he did what she was doing to them, but better. And you could tell that she was annoyed by it. And it was after that she just abruptly stopped with the interviewing of black artists, black social media people. Like it was like a hard cliff stop. And like her voice changed, and like the things she talked about changed. Like she just completely turned back into her original self, not the character that she was putting on in these interviews that got her famous. And I think now she is, trying to make her way back around to them same numbers that she was hitting when she first came onto the scene. And hence we have this Suki moment, which has brought numbers on numbers on numbers. So, because I believe prior to this interview stuff, she was a mommy blogger. And I don't know how she fell into these interviews with these people.
Yeah.
But it was the switch up for me. It wasn't the fact that she was doing it. It was like once she got her footing, and once these artists kind of realized what she was doing and started giving it back to her, she was like, "Oh, girl, I'm done with that." Vogue is on the line. These sponsorships on the line. I don't need you anymore.
Yeah,
Are you
which is
me?
crazy to me because I would think that would be fun to have someone give it back to me in turn. But yeah, different people can handle different things. I've never seen, other than that clip, I've never seen any of her stuff. I've only ever kind of read just something about the uncomfortableness of the interviews. So I don't really know her personality. Because I'm not gonna lie, how she was reacting in that video, that would have been me. I would have been like, so just to be clear. But yeah, so anyways, girl, what's her name? Suki?
Suki with the good coochie. Absolutely. Shout out to you.
Yes, shout out to you, ma'am. And I know, I understand. I'm meeting you on some level because, girl, a couple of videos back, I had a pronunciation problem a couple times.
Mm,
I'm with
yeah,
you on the
yeah,
not on your scale, but I get a little bit of it.
yeah,
But yeah, girl,
yeah,
shout out to you.
yeah. Pop, you know what? No, I was about to say something. No, I'm not gonna do you like that, Crystal. I was about to lump you in with something else. Shout out to Sukihana.
Hmm.
My God in heaven. Well, thank you for that.
You're
That
welcome.
was that was a good time. Are you ready to get into some mess?
I am. Are we doing your story first, right?
Oh yes, man. We're gonna go ahead
Okay,
and
I
get
just
this
want to make
about the
sure.
way.
I just want to
And
make
then we're
sure.
going back to you, baby.
Gotcha.
We are digging into the Reddit rabbit hole once again. We're going into the subreddit r/am I the asshole. Now I'm gonna give y'all a warning. There is a word in here that I don't know how to pronounce. I'm gonna be upfront. Y'all do not get to click clacking in the comments, okay? I don't know how to pronounce this word. And I even looked it up beforehand and I forgot. So
As that happens.
as it happens. So I'm gonna give it my best shot, but I can't promise y'all a doggone thing.
And he's probably going to say it freaking perfectly.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, because I've already said it in my head 3 times and it was 3 different pronunciations. So I'm in danger, girl. Here we
I
go.
appreciate this moment.
Mm. So this is entitled, Am I the Asshole for Telling My Wife to Return It All? My pregnant wife, 26 female, and I, 35 male, are really struggling at the moment as I lost my job and my wife had to quit her job as she's suffering from hyperemesis gravid, gravid, here we go, gravidarum. I don't know, y'all. HG for short. Don't do me, y'all. Please don't do me in the comments. Please don't tear me up. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna read that sentence again. Okay, just for the edit. My pregnant wife and I are really struggling at the moment as I lost my job and my wife had to quit her job as she's suffering from HG. We've used up all of our savings and are currently living off credit cards, but I've got a job lined up starting in March. My wife is very close to her sister, 31 female, and a few days ago she confided in her that we are struggling. Her sister has never liked me, but has always been polite towards me. She has always kept me at an arm's length despite my attempts to try to foster a warmer relationship. A few days ago, my sister in law came to visit while I was away, and she was appalled at the state of the house and the lack of baby supplies, as the baby room was bare bones and we hadn't bought many baby things. When I arrived back home, she gave me a lecture on taking better care of her sister and scolded me for not getting ready for the baby. The next day, she came back and she had bought things for the house and the baby. My wife also told her that she had to sell her car to pay off some of the bills, some of the to pay off some bills and rent. Again, my sister-in-law had to show off and bought her a car, and to top it all off, on Sunday, sent her $50,000 and then texted her saying, "This is your money and your baby's. Do not use this money on that man. If you need more, tell me and I'll send you more. And remember, wherever I am, there's a home for you." I feel like her sister is trying to make me look like a failure, and I expressed that to my wife. My wife and I argued, and in a fit of anger, my wife said that I only feel like a failure because I've been failing. Girl, got his ass. She has apologized since, and I still stand by telling her to return everything, as I feel like accepting her sister's so called generosity is a way to manipulate my wife into thinking I'm a bad husband. Am I the asshole?
Um,
Ooh.
I I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like this is one of those things where I also need the wife's perspective to really give a clear, concise answer. But personally, with what I'm given, yeah, dude. Yeah, I feel like you are. Because at the end of the day, as hard it is to have someone come in and do all the things that you're wanting to do but not able to, especially in such a negative manner towards you, it's really hard to then swallow your pride and look at the bigger picture, which is that you're about to have a baby and you have nothing. So, regardless of where this stuff came from or why it came, and the negativity towards you about it, it's not about you. You can't look at it as about you. Now, as far as like that $50,000, like what does the sister-in-law do? Like, damn. Like,
$50,000 and bought her a car.
and bought her a car. But
And bought shit for the house. And bought shit for the baby.
right.
Like,
Pride is a hard thing to swallow, and this is probably one of those moments that you really do need to, because they're all things that you need and that you can use. I mean, you're about to start work, so it's still going to be a while before not only do you start getting your paycheck, but then you are able to start building up, because you've been living off credit cards, so you have all that stuff that you have to pay off first. I would just look at this as a gift. I would be talking about my wife, because while I understand the concept of not spending it on me, you should probably be using that money to spend on us, i.e., helping with the credit cards that we've both been putting towards. I'm not saying go out and go have a vacation with this $50,000 or get y'all stuff a new wardrobe, but in terms of necessity, if she's using this towards necessity towards you guys, you're gonna be benefiting from it as well, because you're a unit, you're a household, and that's what this money should go towards, is the household. So yeah, it's I don't know what the history is. You're saying something as simple as, well, I've tried to be nice to her, but I don't know what your term of nice is, because men's terms of being nice and women's terms of being nice tend to be a little different. So I don't know if you're one of those nice guys or what. Either way, yeah, I'm gonna say you're an asshole, and that you need to look at the bigger picture.
yeah. He did leave an edit, and he said, "Okay, I get I'm an asshole. I apologize to my wife and sister-in-law. It hurts, but thank you for the brutal feedback." I can only imagine that they were tagging his ass in them comments, because there is absolutely no way that you can't, like, come on, sir.
Mm-hmm.
It's for your child to be, and for your wife. I know you got a job lined up in March. That's great. And, being unemployed is wild, especially with the baby on the way. But your sister-in-law don't fuck with you. You just gonna have to get over that. She don't like you. She ain't never gonna like you. She never did like you. Like, she's made that clear. But if she can be there for her sister and by proxy be there for you, then you just gonna have to accept that help, because at the end of the day, are you gonna give your wife $50,000? Are you gonna buy your wife a car? Are you finna go out there and fill up that nursery? No? Oh, okay. Well, then let somebody do that and be grateful to her, and maybe use this as a catalyst to repair your relationship with your sister-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
She's never gonna look at you the same. You always, I almost said something. You
I
always
know.
gonna be a bitch head
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
in her eyes.
See, I was gonna say
But
broke. I got what you were saying. I got the gist.
You saw the road. You saw the pavement I was putting down and where that road led to. Okay. But yes, we are in a unanimous agreement here in the Tia and Crystal's podcast that you are in fact an asshole. Congratulations.
Yes. Okay, so we're moving on. So this next story is a little exciting, because this story was actually from one of our commenters on Instagram. She
Ooh.
said it in a reply to I want to say that it was a story about the woman who told her friend to name her daughter Mieta because the woman wouldn't
Mm,
stop bugging her about it. So she
mhm.
wrote this comment in reply to this about something personal, and I asked her if I could share it, and she allowed me to. Her handle is Mixed Mom 21, and I'm gonna read this comment as she wrote it. Um, I didn't get a chance to speak to her to clear up some things, so I think the way I'm interpreting it is correct, but you know, if it's not, she can go ahead and message me and I'll make any corrections the following episode. So she said, first off, my mother in law is racist and rude and hates the fact that her son didn't marry a Mexican. When I was pregnant with a little girl, I gave a fake name to my mother in law. I'm assuming the name that she gave her is going to be Mia. That's what I'm assuming. She didn't make that really clear. But she said she ended up paying her niece $4K to change her baby's name to Mia. One, her niece was pregnant with a boy, and only myself and one other person knew. And two, her niece had just made an extra $4K for changing her non existent baby girl's name. 4 months later, my mother in law is pissed that her niece gave birth to a baby boy and asked for the money back. She said, sorry, but I use it to buy a ton of baby items and baby clothes all the way up to 24 months. My mother in law asked her what my daughter's name is going to be since I changed it. Her niece texted her saying it's Penelope. So my mother-in-law got a custom baby clothes and blanket with the name Penny on it. When my daughter was born, my mother-in-law came to the hospital with the custom clothes and blanket. And I asked her, who is Penny? She said, oh, it's the baby's nickname I gave her. My husband and I looked at her confused, and he tells her, Mom, my daughter's name is Vanellope, not Penelope, like the little girl from Wreck-It Ralph. My father in law was laughing so hard he fell out of the chair, and my mother in law was pissed off. So she calls her niece to yell at her for giving her the wrong name. And her niece said, I didn't give you the wrong name. Oh, hold on. Technical difficulty.
That's okay. That is okay. Because I am over here getting my life. I love that they are just playing hacky sack with this name and this lady. Like she can't catch this name to save her goddamn life. Like this is crazy.
So she says, I didn't tell you the wrong name. She said, I told you it's Vanellope. I voice texted it to you because I was changing the baby. My mother in law replies, no, you said it was Penelope. Her niece said, like I said, I was voice texting, and you shouldn't be mad at me. If anything, be mad at yourself for being so nasty and hateful to your daughter in law. Maybe she would have told you her name sooner. And my mother in law hung up the phone with anger. My daughter's 3 months old now, and I still get a huge smile of laughter when I look at the baby blanket with the name Penny on it because of what happened. And also, my family's nickname is Penny, like Penny Proud from the Proud family, since I used to dress up and wear my hair like her.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Come on, Penny Proud.
I know.
Proud family. Yeah, wow, that is a roller coaster ride.
Right?
Can you believe that there are people out there that care that much or are that vindictive? Like the lady who commented this, so her man and his family are Hispanic, and
I
she
think so.
is white or black.
Mixed.
She's
She's
mixed.
mixed. And considering she said she used to dress up as Penny Proud, I'm assuming that,
She's mixed with black and white.
yeah.
Okay, because I was wondering, because I was like, it must be some black in there if she was dressing up as Penny Proud.
That's what I was
Otherwise, I'm calling the cultural appropriation police. Wow, homegirl, thank you for sharing that. That is
Yes.
crazy. You should have put hands on that lady for real.
Honestly, she got
You should have put.
quite a few likes and comments from it in our comment section, which what drew my attention to it. But yeah, kudos to her. I really loved that story when I first read it. I thought it was so
Yeah.
funny.
And shout out to you for keeping your head about you through
Mhm.
that, because I would have lost it. I'm sorry. I don't know if I could have handled that.
And shout out to the niece for having your back and like going
Shout out to
along with
her.
whatever.
And shout out to the niece for coming up on 4K. She was
$1,000.
just pregnant and minding her business. Somebody was like, "Listen, I will give you absolutely give me $4,000." Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. Give me $4,000 to name my baby, which is a boy, Mia.
Mia. He could be Mia, Penelope,
Whatever you
Sarah, whatever you want for $4,000. I'm not naming him that bullshit, but I'm gonna spend that money before you know anything else.
That's what I was thinking. Like, why would you, if you're gonna charge? Not that this is a sane thought process, anyways. But even if you were gonna be like, I'll pay you $4,000 to name your child this, and they're like, yeah, I'm not giving you that $4,000 until I see a birth certificate.
Okay.
With the name. Right. Think of it as like a contract or something. Like, I'm not, why would you pay them in advance?
You could have gave me about $20 and a Popeye's hot and fresh chicken sandwich, and I would have said, absolutely, girl, I name this baby anything you want. Just make sure that my size is hot. Okay, I want that mac and cheese. I want them Cajun fries. Make sure you give me that black and ranch. And this baby is yours. Okay, come to the hospital to pick it up if you want it. Yeah, child. Well, I think we got time for one more. If you're down for it,
I'm down for it. You gonna read a story? You want me to read a story?
What you think? I got one queued up, but I don't know if you want to share.
I got one queued up too. Do you want to read our titles and see which one is more interesting?
Let's do that. Because you might beat me. Okay. This one is a petty revenge. I can also save it for later, so y'all may hear this story again later on. 2 girls rolled their eyes at me at a restaurant while I was only trying to be nice. Fine, keep waiting then. I don't know. What you got, Kristal?
I like that it's a petty revenge. You know I like my petty revenge.
Yeah, I know you do. That's why
this was an Am I the Asshole? And it says, Am I the asshole because I told my ex-husband outside of our kids, I don't care about his life and I don't owe his fiancé anything.
Oh my God. Oh, shit.
Yeah, but I like yours too.
Both of these are so good.
I know.
I love a woman telling a man, listen, you ain't shit. You ain't never gonna be shit. I don't care about you. Die in the ditch. Okay.
Which one should we do? Is yours long?
It's not. Is yours long?
Okay. It's not, I don't think it's long, but it's kind of average. So
see, I feel like mine is the same. I feel like mine is average. It's not short, but it's not long. Girl, what we finna do? Are we finna do both of them?
Okay.
Let's do both of them.
Okay.
They can just be a little bit longer of an episode. We got a little bit of time. We'll just keep our reactions short, okay?
Okay.
So once again, this is from the subreddit r/petty revenge. 2 girls rolled their eyes at me at a restaurant while I was only trying to be nice. Fine. Keep waiting then. I was having lunch at a restaurant last Sunday with my friend. All the other tables were occupied. 2 girls appeared. But since it was packed and there were no empty tables nor vacant seats, they just stood there awkwardly looking around waiting for some people to get up and leave. I told them we're almost finished so they could have our table after we left. But instead of being thankful, they threw me a dirty look and rolled their eyes as if I was trying to flirt with them. My face went red and I didn't know what to say. I was just trying to be nice. It wasn't as if I was trying to initiate a small talk with them or something. Then my embarrassment turned to anger. The least they could do is just nod their heads. Then I heard one of them say to the other, maybe they should go to another restaurant. And her friend said, no, because it's the only Chinese restaurant in the vicinity of her place. And also because that guy, she pointed at me with her lips in a not so subtle way, was almost done. Fine. I raised my hand and called one of the waiters and told her that we would like to have more drinks, which she brought over a few minutes later. My friend was trying so hard to stifle his laughter, I swear he broke a rib or two, While we very slowly ate the rest of our meal, the rude girls left quickly soon after. I know that's right.
That's what you get. Honestly, that's what you get. You kindness is free, and there's no reason for. I understand, especially ladies, because there are some men who will assert themselves in a situation. They don't really need to be asserting themselves. Like they have that like hero savior, like, oh, you're in need, let
That
me
savior
help you.
syndrome.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and they go about it in a creepy way, but this did not sound like that. Granted, this is from his perspective, I don't know, but if it's something as simple as like, hey, we're about to leave, if you want to just give us a few minutes, uh thank you so much, yeah, absolutely, that's all you had to do. That's all if you want to talk shit about him later, that's fine. Like, oh my god, that guy was so
Mm-hmm.
creepy, why would like the way he approached me, the way
Why
he
would
was
he
looking at
even?
me.
Why would he offer me his table?
But if your goal is to get that table, oh yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's all you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you got to do.
I was just like, wow, like not the rolling of the eyes and anything. Like, girl, you. Oh, so you don't want to eat? Oh, okay.
Right. So you
That's all
do
you
want
had
to
to
go to
say.
another restaurant.
Okay,
You
yeah.
don't want Chinese food tonight.
I
Gotcha.
will, Monsieur. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have an order of the crab rangoon.
Yeah,
Actually, maybe 2
exactly.
orders of the crab rangoon. Give me a shrimp lo mein. Also, you know what? If you have a whole crab back there, can you slow cook it over a candle for me until it is well done? Yeah, I have all the time in the world. Take your
All the
time.
time.
Mhm.
And I would have looked straight at her and been like,
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, not us. Hold on, Chris. We got to be the people in the restaurant. We both got to get our drink. Hmm. Anyway.
all right,
All right, girl. You're
let me
next.
get through mine. So, just to reiterate, am I the asshole because I told my ex-husband outside of our kids I don't care about his life and I don't owe his fiance anything?
I'm weak already.
I do want to give a trigger warning for some people. This does deal with a miscarriage for anyone who does not want to hear the story because of that. So my 36 female ex-husband Tom, 35 male, left me for his work wife Tammy, 25 female, 2 years ago. I never liked her even before I found out about their relationship. The first time I met her at a work event, she told me while I was heavily pregnant with my youngest, better up your wife game or I might steal him off of you. Well, 3 months later, she did. This woman literally came with him to help pack the day he moved out and tried to have a one-on-one conversation on how she wanted our relationship going forward because she was going to be in his life. That said as a joke, told you I'd steal him away. Not gonna lie, I'm thankful she did because when my ex made a comment about her being 23 and her brain not being fully developed, I got the ick so bad, it turned my heartbreak into relief. I got everything in the divorce because I got him in his affair fog and gave 50-50 custody for our kids' sake. I'm civil for the sake of my kids, so we can both attend events without drama, but other than that, I couldn't honestly care less about them. Around June, Tammy came instead of Tom for pickup and practically skipped towards me to show off her engagement ring, saying she wanted me as a bridesmaid along with my daughters for something I didn't catch because I was in a rush to get out of the car because our cat was going to the vet. She got upset because I just said, her whole conversation per her text a few hours later. Same thing happened in September when she told me she was pregnant, which again, my zero fucks given upset her. In December, when she told me the second I opened the car door, Tom's finally getting a son, to which I sarcastically replied, I'm sure Lord Tom's excited for an heir to take over his lands and titles, which caused drama too because Tom's family found it hilarious when Tammy was bad-mouthing me. December was the last time I saw her till today at drop off with Tom. As they approached, I noticed Tammy didn't look pregnant anymore. Tammy tearfully said we lost the baby. I didn't answer, just told Tom our second daughter has a birthday party tomorrow at 3 and the oldest has gymnastics at 5. Tammy literally screamed at me I was a heartless bitch and bitter, then grabbed the girls' bags, walked away. Tom said I could show a little humanity towards Tammy, and regardless of my feelings, she is my kid's stepmother. I told Tom I don't care about what he has going on, though, because outside of our kids, I don't care about them, and I don't owe Tammy anything, especially pity. He called me an asshole along with other things and left. Usually this wouldn't bother me, but my ex-in-laws, who I have a good relationship with, have told me I should have shown Tammy some empathy and at the very least pretended to care for the sake of the kids.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna try not to get canceled here. You know what? I'm gonna take the compassionate route here. I'm gonna take the compassionate route.
New.
I'm gonna
Okay.
say that I am 100% on the ex-wife's side, right?
Mhm.
Because Tammy should have had the pause put on her a long time ago. She should have been got that jaw rock, because you playing in this lady face. Because catch it, she said she met this lady at the company picnic. She was pregnant 3 months later. Her man stole it. That means she was at home either still pregnant or with an infant. And the fact that you would play in my face while I'm going through this, probably the worst moment of my life to date, and to say, I told you y'all was going to steal your man. You lucky you walked off my front porch. You could have been on Dateline. Okay? You should have been on Dateline. If we're going to keep it a buck. And the fact that you, over these years, just want to run up in my face and, show me your little ring and, tell me all these little things. Like, you picking with me. You trying to get a reaction out of me. And I don't know why you think you telling me that you are no longer pregnant would get anything other than what I have given you this whole time, which is nothing.
Mhm.
You're never going to get anything from me. You're never going to get anger out of me. You're not going to get congratulations out of me. And you're not going to get sympathy out of me. I'm sorry. I empathize with what you're going through. Girl, that sucks. But what am I to say to you? I don't know you. I don't like you.
Mhm.
I don't have any feelings towards you. It's like if somebody telling me that some random person, also, had a miscarriage. Damn, that sucks. But I don't have any, personal
Yeah.
attachment to that because I don't know that person. So why would I give you
If anything,
anything?
I would probably have more sympathy for that person because I don't know that person. So I'm
Yeah.
automatically assuming they're a good person, and therefore I'm like, oh, I'm feeling more empathetic to you. I get what you're
Exactly.
saying, and to most of the extent, I agree with you. Me personally, as a person, I might have at least been, oh, I'm sorry you're going through that, at the very
Oh yeah.
least.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
everything else, yeah, because these last couple of years, you've been trying to rub in my face every good thing that's been going on with you, like
Mm-hmm.
from stealing my husband to getting a ring to having a child, and the fact that you thought that, oh, he's finally having a boy again. These little things you keep trying to rub in my face,
Mm-hmm.
expecting me to be upset about it. And so now that something bad has happened to you, now you want me to sympathize with you in some
Yeah.
regard. And I like I said, me personally as a person, I probably would have at least been, I'm sorry you're going through that, and then moved it along at the very least, because this isn't going to be the thing that suddenly brings us together.
Yeah.
That's not it.
And I do want to clarify to your point.
Mm-hmm.
I was speaking on why I could see why she wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
showing any, sympathy towards her. But I'd like you, it would get me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it was somebody that I didn't see eye to eye with, and they came and told me, even if their cat died, I'd be like, girl, damn. Okay, well, let me go ahead and put this shit on the back burner, girl.
Right.
Sorry that happened to
You
you.
got
You know
10
what I'm
minutes.
saying? Exactly. When I get to my car, it's on site again.
Right. Exactly.
It's you know what I'm saying. We are mortal enemies again.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. If that had happened to me personally,
Yeah.
it would have went a lot further. Like, damn, okay, I'm gonna put
Yeah.
this shit on the back burner. Like, I'm not gonna go out my way to make you feel better, but in the moment, I'm definitely going.
Yeah,
Is
I'm
there
not going to be a
anything I can
shoulder
do
you can
for
cry
you?
on. You're not going to be able to call me and I'm going to
Oh
listen to you
no,
wail. It's not going
oh
to be
no,
one of
no,
those. You
no,
get the
man.
one quick, I'm sorry for your loss. And then it's my day's moving on.
And we
But
might even have a whole 20-minute, 30-minute conversation about it. You know what I'm
right,
saying? But once we leave this parking lot,
that
girl,
bubbles
it's
burst.
boom. It's like it never happened. Okay.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
there is an update to this, but we don't have time to read it. I will bring it
Hmm.
back to you guys next episode.
I know
So
that's
look
right.
forward to part 2 to see what the aftermath
Hmm.
of this story was. Will probably be the first story we read.
Come on, Ty over. Come on, Ty over. You better bring the people back to the next episode. Well, thank you all once again for joining us for another episode of the Tea and Crystals podcast. I had a phenomenal time tonight. How about you, Crystal?
Yes, I had a wonderful time.
I know that's right. If you like what you heard, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening. It is so, so, so important. I really want to stress that. I know y'all are listening to the podcast because I can see the numbers. We are on even more platforms now. I need to mention that because I don't think we had done that since the last time we had an episode. We are now on Amazon Music, also on iHeartRadio. So all together, we are on Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So there are so many places you can listen to us. So there is no excuse. So leave a 5-star review wherever you are listening. If you like what you saw, make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe on YouTube. It's so important over there on YouTube too. If you have any questions, comments, or you would like to share your story, like the commenter that had their short story shared on the show today, we would really, really like to do that more in the future. So if you want to leave it in the comment section, if you want to leave it on one of our reels, if you want to send us a DM, also you can send us an email, and that will go to teaandcrystal@gmail.com. That's teaandcrystal@gmail.com. We look forward to your letters. Please make sure that you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook by searching Tea and Crystals Podcast. Follow us on TikTok at Tea and Crystals Podcast and on Instagram at Tea and Crystals Pod. Crystal, is there anything you want to say to the people before we get the hell up out of here?
Nope. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and you will be back next episode to hear the remaining of the story.
That's right.
So, thanks, guys. Bye.
See y'all.